Welcome back to PC Solutions. Today we're making the most important video of the year. Today we're discussing a very important topic that affects millions of users worldwide, the end of Windows 10 support, which is coming on October 14th, 2025. I know many of you are still using Windows 10 every day and perhaps you're not in a hurry to switch. So, in this video, we'll see what happens after this fateful date, what options you have, and how you can continue to use your PC safely without making hasty choices. From October 14, 2025, Windows 10 will no longer receive updates or technical support. This means that any security flaws discovered after that date will no longer be patched, and your PC will progressively become more vulnerable to viruses and attacks. It's not an immediate tragedy, however, because Office 365 and Microsoft Defender will continue to receive updates until October 2028. So consequently, you won't be completely exposed or left vulnerable, but this absolutely does not mean that you will automatically receive comprehensive security updates, because fundamentally, Windows Defender is primarily an antivirus program, so it specifically protects you from various malicious virus attacks and other similar digital threats, but it does not in any way protect you from underlying operating system security flaws or vulnerabilities. There's a last-minute update. In recent days, Microsoft has stated that only in Europe the requirements to get 1 year of updates until November 2026 will not apply. So, we will have our Windows operating system updated, specifically Windows 10, updated completely for free without any cost whatsoever. I'll explain more later. The essential requirements that I will discuss next are broadly applicable to the rest of the world. Let's begin by carefully looking at the options and important considerations we will cover in this video. The first is to upgrade to Windows 11. Or, if you can't upgrade to Windows 11 or choose to stay on Windows 10, we'll see how to do that for 1 or more years. The final alternative is to migrate to another operating system. If your PC is compatible, upgrading to Windows 11 is the simplest choice, guaranteeing you long-term security updates and features. To upgrade to Windows 11, download the Update Assistant and follow the procedure. I'll leave the link in the description. If you don't have a recent PC, Windows will tell you that the requirements are not met. So, before Windows gives you this message, I'll show you what the requirements for Windows 11 are. A CPU of at least 1 GHz, dual-core, 64-bit, 4 GB of RAM or more, a drive with at least 64 GB of free space, a UEFI BIOS with secure boot, TPM version 2.0, a graphics card compatible with DirectX 12 and WDDM 2.0 drivers, a compatible display, and an internet connection for future updates. If you're not sure about compatibility, Microsoft offers an official tool to check it. I'll leave the page in the description. So if my PC doesn't meet the minimum requirements, do I have to change it? In theory, yes, but there are methods that allow you to bypass the minimum requirements of Windows 11 and install it even on machines that aren't fully compatible. This is a somewhat vague definition, I know, because there are some machines that simply can't run Windows 11. However, for most PCs on the market, there's something you can do. For example, using Flyby 11 or a specially created USB stick with Rufus. If you want to know more, we can make a video about it. Let me know in the comments if you're interested. Also, I'll leave 2 links in the description to check if your processor is compatible with Windows 11 24H2, one for AMD and one for Intel. Okay, so if we've established that our PC doesn't support Windows 11, the only choice is to stay on Windows 10. Or we can also choose to stay on Windows 10. There can be many reasons for this. For example, not having the money or planning to make the purchase of a new computer later on. Or maybe you use software that requires a specific operating system and you're worried it might not be compatible with Windows 11. Maybe some of your software is a bit old. Regardless of this, staying on Windows 10 without security updates for the system, but only with updates for Windows Defender and Office 365, let's say it's not the best choice in the medium to long term. I repeat that in the immediate future, after October 14, nothing irreparable will happen. You still have some time to make a well-considered decision, so there are opportunities to buy yourself some time. And now let's talk about how to get free updates until next year. So basically, to get free updates until November 2026, you need a Microsoft account, have Windows 10 updated to the latest version, and activate backup on OneDrive through the relevant app, or spend 1,000 Microsoft Rewards points if you have them. Now, this very last option has been completely removed here in Europe, so you absolutely don't need to activate automatic backup on OneDrive and risk potentially spending even more money, because those initial 5 gigabytes they generously give you for free fill up almost immediately, or you might end up using your valuable rewards points instead. So it is entirely sufficient to have your Windows 10 operating system thoroughly updated to its very latest version, and you will then clearly see a prominent message telling you that you are completely all set for receiving further updates for the entirety of the next year. If you are located outside of the geographical region of Europe, or if you encounter any significant issues when attempting to update your Windows operating system, you will, unfortunately, have to make a payment in order to participate in the Extended Security Update program. This particular paid update program, specifically designed for Windows 10, does indeed come with a financial cost. It is approximately 30 United States dollars for individual users and 60 or 61 United States dollars for businesses and corporate entities. Companies can then get 3 years of updates instead of just one, with the subscription cost doubling each time. So in the second year it becomes $122, and in the third year it becomes $244. These updates include only security patches, I remind you, and not new features. Those will be reserved exclusively for Windows 11. But Microsoft isn't the only one who can offer you security updates. There are also alternative solutions, such as Zero Patch, an independent project by Acro Security, which provides updates for Windows 10 at a price of 25 or 35 euros per year, depending on the plan you choose. They even have a free plan that includes patches for the most critical vulnerabilities. I'll leave a link in the description so you can learn more about their offers. Another way to stay on Windows 10 is to switch your Windows edition to Windows LTSC, which is supported until 2027. Or Windows LTSC IoT, which is supported until 2032. Doing this isn't always straightforward, and finding keys for these systems isn't easy either, since they are volume licenses granted to large companies or organizations. If you want a more specific guide on this, let me know in the comments and I'll see about making a video on the topic. Finally, if none of these previous options convince you, your only choice is to switch to another system like Linux, Ubuntu for example, with which you can now do everything you do on Windows, including gaming. Or you could switch to Chrome OS or Mac OS, but in that case, you'd also need to buy specific machines. Ultimately, the end of high school. The impending end of Windows 10 shouldn't necessarily scare you, but it's incredibly important to plan ahead thoughtfully. Hey, what exactly will you ultimately do? Will you choose to stay on Windows 10 for as long as humanly possible? Or will you seize this opportune moment to switch to an entirely different operating system, or perhaps even upgrade your entire computer system? I sincerely hope that I was genuinely helpful and that I made it abundantly clear what specific actions to take after October 14th. Remember to please subscribe to the channel and kindly leave a like for even more valuable PC solutions. I'll definitely see you in the very next video. Bye for now.